Hey everybody, it's Kyla at the MJC again, and this time we are going to finish up the asset section of the financial disclosure with this assets acquired section and the real estate section. But first, before we get going, let me remind everybody that nothing in this video is intended to be legal advice. It's a video, so I'm not able to analyze your situation. I can't determine whether what you're doing is what is in your best interest in your situation, what you should ask for, what a court may grant in your situation. So if you have questions about those sorts of things, I would definitely recommend that you get some legal advice. You can get brief legal advice for free here in Milwaukee County through the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. If you're not located in Milwaukee, you can contact your clerk of court to find out what resources are available in your area for you to be able to get some help. All right, so this assets acquired section, what it wants to know or what it's asking about is, do you have any items, anything you own that you got by gift, that you got by inheritance, or that you owned before you got married? And ideally, in an ideal world, you would want to list anything that fit those categories. But often we say, things that are important. So either if it's worth something, so if your house is something that you got by one of those, you probably would want to list it. Or if it's important to you for some other reason. So back before I mentioned Great Aunt Ida's salt shakers, if that's something you really want to make sure it's clear and you got those by inheritance, you would list that here. If you got a cash amount that's in a bank account, you could list that, or those sorts of things. So for example, if here, if it's, house at 1234 South Main Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin 532, 06 or whatever that would be. And then here, so who owns it? So this would be basically whose property is it? Again, A is joint petitioner A, or if if you filed separately, the petitioner would go here. B is joint petitioner B or the respondent. And T would be if you own it together. So here we might say Jane, maybe the house belongs to Jane and she got it by inheritance. Here you're going to want to put the date that you got that. So the date it was inherited is what Jane would put here. And then a rough estimate of the value today. Other assets, again, it could be something that's, of value to you, you could put here. Anything like that. And again, anything by gift, inheritance, or that you owned before you got married. Here, the real estate section, this is where you're going to list real estate if you have it. So I just said here that Jane has a house she owns, so we're going to go ahead and include that on the real estate section. You'll put if it's a single family home, or if it's a duplex, or if it's a homestead, or what type of property it is. Here, you're going to put the address, and so here I'll just make sure I get this address here. 1234 South Main Street would go here, and again, it wants the city and state as well. Title or ownership, so again, whose name is it titled in? Petitioner, respondent, or joint petitioner A, joint petitioner B, or together. Here, an estimate of the fair market value. So basically, what is it worth right now? Here, you're going to put your best estimate of the mortgage value. So how much do you still owe on that property? And then here, you're going to put any other liens. So if there's a second mortgage on it, or a HELOC, or if there is a tax lien, or what have you, you'll list that there. If there isn't any, you'll just put none. Or you could also put 0. And then the other thing for you guys to know is if you don't have real estate, so if you don't have any houses that belong to either of you, you'll put none, just like that. And do note that this is one of those sections that does need to match. So if John and Jane both have pieces of real estate, they would list both of them. Or if John were filling out his financial, even though this house belongs to Jane, he would still list it. I swallowed wrong there. So he would still list it here. All right, well, that is it for those two sections. I will be back in a little bit to walk you through the remaining sections of the financial disclosure. Thank you, as always, for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you do need additional information, we're always here to help with this form in the Milwaukee Justice Center, located in room G9 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you all go out and represent yourselves well.